Lots of vocalists and aspiring vocalists listen to the mastery of a singer like Bruno Mars.
Now my baby's dancing, but she's
or Elvis.
Walked through a party in the county jail. Should have heard him knocked out jailbird sing.
The two vocalists are quite linked, by the way, and they admire their impeccable texture and tone and qualities that they don't think they could ever have in their own voice, and they say, "My tone sucks. I hate the way my voice sounds, and there's just nothing I can do about it. I've tried everything." And then you listen to Paul McCartney, who can sing in seemingly any style, and it's not only passable, but genius, and frustration could really set in. From the vocal qualities in Yesterday to Helter Skelter.
I'm not half the man I used to be. Well, I'm coming down fast, but I'm miles above you. You may be a lover, but you ain't no dancer.
Oh, darling.
Believe me when I tell you.
And the playfulness, the unhinged nature of the end of Hey Jude.
People from all over the world, sing it one more time. Don't let me down.
What if the problems you're having developing your own ideal tone with your voice isn't a problem with your voice at all, but how you're listening to vocalists who you deem have amazing tone, and then what you're trying to do based on what you're hearing? In other words, maybe you're just listening to things wrong, and it's causing you to compete with your favorite vocalists rather than learn from them. I want that quality and that quality. I want Bruno Mars's rasp. I want that warm Elvis tone. And then you record yourself and you listen back to this poor imitation of one of your favorite vocalists and you go, "I'm terrible and I'm just getting worse." Let's go way back to when Paul McCartney and the Beatles were in Liverpool doing thousands and thousands of hours worth of cover tunes. Figuring things out as they go, stumbling upon possibilities with their voice as they cover so many different songs from so many different vocalists. Paul has even talked about in multiple interviews on multiple occasions how his vocal styles and the writing styles came from all these influences and them producing their own takes based on these influences.
We were a mixture of all the people we loved, but we weren't any individual one of them. So we were like Everly Brothers when John and I sang harmony. We were like Buddy Holly when we did those kind of songs. We were like Elvis when we did this. So it just made up to a new sound.
Not imitation, inspiration. But here's the thing, inspiration can come by way of imitation. It just has to be done correctly. What's correctly? Non-judgmentally. If you're so stuck on comparing yourself to the master while you're trying to still figure things out with your voice, you'll never get beyond poor imitations. However, if you stop trying to hone certain techniques based on what you're hearing in that other vocalist, but instead adopt characters inspired by what you hear that other vocalist doing, and then play with those characters in a fringy, sort of off-the-wall way with your voice, you will discover so many possibilities. And as you continue to suspend judgment on how you sound in the moment, you'll figure out this little inflection and that little posture and this little opportunity over here. This is actually what we hear Paul doing in the midst of recording things like the end of Hey Jude. At least part of the genius of Paul McCartney can be yours if you learn to play with your voice as an amalgamation of different character postures, as opposed to trying to find your ideal tone. Bruno Mars, at the age of 5, playing around with inspirations from Elvis, was doing things with his voice without him even knowing it. He was changing his placement. He was pronouncing vowels in certain ways. He was finding tones by experimenting. Him diving in to these different styles as a child led him to stumble on possibilities that aren't really present in either Elvis or James Brown. This is what happens when you let things influence you, not try to imitate them Exactly. So now I'd like to lead you in a short practical exercise to show you how imitation done correctly can lead to all sorts of amazing things in your voice. Be patient. Try this for yourself and see what happens. We're going to take the line sung very vanilla at first. Can't buy me love. No, you can't buy me love. Can't buy me love. No, no, no. Now, I sang that in a very just whatever voice. And that might be a type of sound that I would listen back to and be like, man, I sound fake. My tone is stupid. Blah. So rather than beat my head up against the wall and say, I sound nothing like the Beatles, I'm going to go a completely different direction. Kermit the Frog. Can't buy me love. No, you can't buy me love. No, no, no. Now, I'm not even saying that's a very good Kermit the Frog imitation, but that tone was definitely inspired by Kermit the Frog. How about Miss Piggy? Can't buy me love. No, you can't buy me love. Can't buy me love. No, 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 no. How about a really angry amalgamation of different Warner Brothers characters? Can't buy me love. I said, no, you can't buy me love. Can't buy me love. No, 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 no. How about a really tired, yawny guy who's just flustered at the end of the day? Can't buy me love. No, you can't buy me love. Can't buy me love. No, no, no. How about a real creepy nerd? Can't buy me love. You can't buy me love. No, you can't buy me love. Can't buy me love. No, no, no. So the trend here is I'm not going for goodness. I'm going for fringe. I'm going for cringe. I'm going for experimenting with postures in my voice that don't sound good. They're poor imitations of other things, but they are representations of extremes when it comes to what's possible with my voice. Now, as I get more and more familiar with those fringes, with those extremes in my voice, I can take this same line and I can borrow from these extremes and I can balance them in real time and experiment, still non-judgmentally, with what it feels like to deliver this same line in lots of different ways at the same time, or one after the other. I can arc all of these characters into this one line. This is a process to learn how to do this, but it's so worth it. Can't buy me love. No, you can't buy me love. Can't buy me love. No, no, no. Can't buy me love. No, you can't buy me love. Can't buy me love. No, no, no. Can't buy me love. No, you can't buy me love. Can't buy me love. No, no, no. Do you hear the little bits of Miss Piggy coming out at the end of no? No, no, no. You say, my pitch isn't very good. Anybody can sound like dying cats and stupid cartoon characters, but it takes a lot to really hit notes well. Don't use this argument as a cop-out. If you haven't tried this, try it. Try it for a long time, non-judgmentally, and see what happens. Your pitch will come. It will. Listen to some of the things that Paul McCartney's doing at the end of something like Hey Jude, or all sorts of other live performances where he's just coming completely unhinged. Is the pitch there completely? No.
People from all over the world will sing it one more time.
Find these tonal extremes and postures with your voice and experiment. Find what's possible and then start reining it in. As you lean into one sensation, dial it back a little bit and bring in a little bit of this, a little bit less Kermit, a little bit more Miss Piggy, a little bit less creepy nerd guy, a little bit more boring tired guy, whatever it is. You will find these areas of your voice. You will stumble upon them that will be remarkable and inspiring to you. And you started by imitating not an amazing singer, but by imitating stupidity while being inspired by your favorite singer. Take this path and see what happens. If you'd like more help doing this and unlocking ways that your voice can work in freedom, click the link below in the pinned comment or video description and join my free course called Free Your Voice. I'll help you continue to pull things out of your voice you never knew were there.